this is Lori, and this is my homework for Paul McWhorter's Pico W course, lesson number 13. This was an optional homework, and he suggested that we take 3 potentiometers to control our RGB LED, and the user can turn the knobs to control the red, the green, and the blue portions of our RGB LED. I used panel potentiometers in this homework, and you can see I took the panel potentiometer, which is not one that we got in our kit. It's one I happen to have from another kit, and I modified them so that they'll sit on a breadboard a little nicer. Otherwise, people tend to plug these little parts into the breadboard, but then it's sort of sideways, and I find it a little hard to turn. So I added some header pins and put it at a 90 degree angle and kind of soldered them in so that I could use these kinds of potentiometers on a breadboard, and then I have the nice little knobs they come with, so it's easy to turn. So that's just a little something I did to make projects like this a little nicer. So first we'll take just a little look at the layout here. So you can see I have my Pico, the RGB LED with the resistors and connected up to the GPIO pins. And then here are my 3 potentiometers, those panel ones that I've modified, and they're all hooked up and connected back to the ADC pins on our Pico. Here's the simplified version of this project where I'm not going to worry about nonlinearity and brightness that we did in one of our previous lessons. I'm just going to directly take the 3 potentiometers and put them into the pulse width modulation objects to control the red, green, and blue. So we'll set up our LEDs for the red, green, and blue. Then we'll connect the potentiometers up to the 3 ADC pins, 28, 27, 26, so red, green, and blue. And you can see I have the little knobs in the same color. That's kind of fun. And in the while true loop, we'll just read the values from those 3 potentiometers, and then I have just a little bit of cleanup code that I used the last time when we did LED dimmer, and but for all the red, green, and blue values, then we'll pass that into the duty U16 functions for the red, green, and blue LEDs, and then we'll print out what's going on the screen. So let's give that a run. Diffuser here on. There we go, so we can see it. And let's play around with the knobs. There's the red going up. Yeah, it's about halfway, and you'll see, of course, since we're not doing anything to change it, we don't get a lot of change in the higher numbers. Let's try turning up the green. That works really well. Nice, pretty green. And then we'll turn up the blue. And that's also working. And yeah, so that works pretty well. And so then you can really have some fun. You can start dialing in different colors and messing around with all the colors that you have. So it's fun to do this kind of a project where you just with a nice potentiometer there to have some fun. Okay, so that's a simple one, and then I'll show next the program that I put the nonlinear dimming in as well. Here's the program for the nonlinear dimming equation included, and so everything is set up the same, so we'll kind of move past that, and we're going to read our potentiometer, and then we're going to do the same thing for red, green, and blue. So let's just talk about the red. We'll do the cleanup here to turn it fully off and turn it fully on. And then I'm using the scale from 0 to 4095, which I discussed in the previous lesson to create the nonlinear scale. So I just need to convert the potentiometer value to a 0 to 4095 scale, do my little nonlinear equation, and then I have to scale it back so that it's on the 16-bit scale to pass it in. And we'll do that for the green and the blue as well. And then we'll pass those values into our do the U16 function to light up our RGB LED. So same printout, and should work pretty similarly, except for I think we'll have a little bit better control and a little more linear. So I'll kind of bring up the red here, and you can see I'm halfway now, and you can see that it's not full brightness at this point. I still have a lot of play as I go all the way to the top. So that those nonlinear equations are really nice. I'm going to blend in some green. There's kind of almost an orange, and kind of goes to a yellow. Let's take the red out, and we'll blend in some blue, and get a nice cyan going. I'm going to take the green out, and then we'll see that we still, have some room to brighten up our blue. And you should see the values that are going in there on the screen changing. So yeah, it's fun to do, and it's a great optional homework. Thanks, Paul.